Logan, Man Cave Classroom in A10. We're getting into the age of exploration. Although, I mean, we've never stopped exploring, really. I mean, it starts in the 1500s.
Now we're going to Mars.
Now we're going to Mars. Now we're going to space. That whole idea of exploring just, this is where it starts and it keeps going. But
Yeah.
You know, in your early days of exploration, it was just about trade.
Yeah.
That
It was all about trade. Now to understand like how we got the need to trade, got to look at where we came from. After the fall of the Roman Empire, we enter into the Dark Ages, the Middle Ages. You know, feudalism comes about.
Yep.
You're living on your manor. Manors are self-sufficient. No need to leave.
Nope.
You need a new pair of shoes? Make them.
Right.
You need a new hammer? Go to the blacksmith. You know, so there was no need to leave whatsoever. Boom. Until Jerusalem falls to I can't remember the guy's name. Oh, what was his name? Saladin.
Okay, there you go.
Falls to Saladin. The Pope of the time is like, we've got to recapture the Holy Land from the Muslims, and a series of holy wars take place known as the Crusades. In the end, the Crusades fail, but all of these crusaders coming back to Europe are bringing new stuff back with them. Spices and silk and perfumes when no one's bathing.
Right.
And now that everyone's like, wait a minute, we smell better, we want more of that stuff.
People starting to get exposed to the outside world.
Yeah.
From products.
We want more of that stuff.
Yep.
And from that, you know, Italy being perfectly located right there in the middle of the Mediterranean becomes the hub of the trade with the Middle East. Enter in the Black Plague.
Yep.
Out of that trade comes the Black Death. People are dying all over the place. And from that Black Death, we see a rebirth of knowledge, a rebirth of all this, and all these new instruments, all these new innovations start coming out, specifically aiding in navigation.
Right. People are getting smarter. That's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
one way I like to characterize it. You know, if you're looking for technological advancements,
Boom.
there it is.
So that's where we are. And this whole idea that, you know, we wanted what Asia had, but in Italy kind of controlled everything.
Yeah.
So England and France and the Dutch and the Portuguese and the Spanish, they wanted to find a way to get to Asia faster than we ever could.
because they had all the cool stuff.
Going for. And it was determined, hey, water is faster than going on land.
Yeah.
When you're going over water, you don't have, like, boats don't have to sleep.
Right.
You can rotate your captains and your crew. You know, you don't have to feed a boat like you would have a horse or ox or whatever it might be. So all these countries go out searching for that shorter trade route to Asia.
But
And
again,
then,
it's the search for the route at
Yeah.
this point.
Yeah.
Not everything's mapped out.
Yeah.
There's your issue.
exactly. So, I mean, you've got tons of explorers from, you know, Prince Henry the Navigator, Bartolome Diaz, Ferdinand Magellan, Vasco da Gama, Henry Hudson, Giovanni Verrazzano, all of these guys looking for a shorter trade route to Asia. Enter Christopher Columbus.
And then all of them, you know, very brave at this point. 'Cause
Yeah.
You don't know where you're going. It's a crew of whoever's bold enough to go, and you have no idea what's out there. And then you have this guy.
Then enter Christopher Columbus, who has this crazy idea of, hey, I'm going to go west to end up getting in the east because I believe the world was round, which was actually not an uncommon idea back then.
Right.
You know, the Greeks had actually proved the world was round using mathematics hundreds of years earlier. You know, but they miscalculated how big Earth really was.
Absolutely.
So he goes out, he sails west to go east, thinking he's going to get to Asia, and boom, he runs into an entire continent that they did not know existed. He doesn't even know he's there. He thinks he's in the East Indian Islands. You know, because if you actually, I don't have it on this map, but if you actually look at the Caribbean and where it lines up, it's almost in the exact same latitude as where the Philippines are, you know, on a map. So that's actually where he thinks he was, the East Indian Spice Islands, which is why he meets the people he...
Which, like, in the absence of GPS and everything
Yeah.
else, all right, you're not there.
No.
Close.
Right.
You know, it's just like really.
You know, and he winds up going back 4 times, and actually to the day he died, Columbus believed he was in Asia. Which is why when he met the Taino Indians,
Yep.
Native Americans,
He referred to
them as Indians because he thought he was in the East Indian Spice Islands. You know, and that's not the big part of this. What the real big part of all of this is, because The Vikings were here first.
Yep.
They discovered America 400 years before Columbus. The Native Americans were here. They walked here or took a coastal route theory, depending.
Right.
But the major turning point that takes place now is now European countries come back. And they come back and they stay. They colonize the New World. And in doing this, in Columbus's discovery of the New World, he kicks off this global exchange of goods and ideas that go back and forth from one area to the next. We're getting there, we're getting there. Known as the Colombian Exchange. Imagine, if you would, living in Europe in 1491 without tomatoes. Imagine being Italian in 1491.
I mean, if you think all the things that have been
without
brought over,
tomatoes.
avocado, jeez.
Yeah.
You can't have anything healthy
The
today
Irish,
without
the
avocado.
Irish never having eaten a potato
Yep.
in their lives. All of these, everything on the top part of this chart, are native foods and animals of the Americas. And Europeans had no knowledge of them before the arrival of Columbus. And don't think that Columbus did all of this by himself.
No.
This Columbian exchange takes place over hundreds of years. Chocolate, the cocoa bean, corn, beans. I mean, it's just mind-blowing.
So when we're drinking our coffee in the morning, it's thank you, Europe.
Yes.
Because that's where that exchange
Yeah.
comes. And of course, when you look at
Sugar,
Central
grapes,
America,
fruits, bananas, honey. Now this is the important part here. Wheat, rice, barley, oats, all bread products.
horses too.
Horses,
that becomes a big
pigs,
thing too.
sheep, cattle. You can even throw chickens on this list too. It's
Sure.
not on here because they had turkeys, they didn't have chickens.
Right.
So this entire global exchange of goods and ideas. Now my hand is kind of here.
Yeah,
for
I know
a
where you're
reason,
going with this.
Because the major negative aspect of this is that they are also going to bring with them
Smallpox, influenza,
these
typhus,
deadly
measles.
diseases. And it's not like they were like, hey, I'm sick, let's go to America. No.
Yeah.
These diseases have been commonplace in Europe for hundreds of years. And when they came to the New World, Native Americans had never been exposed to them.
So that death rate, it's going to drastically increase because of that death rate.
You talk about a global pandemic.
Yeah, exactly.
Within I think it's 70 years, almost 70 million. I have it in another
one.
somewhere. But within
the drastic
70
change.
years, it's something like 50 million Native Americans are dead because of diseases alone. The number one killer being smallpox. Good.
And the thing that's interesting too, because you have great documents in here. You have the painting of them discovering it. Columbus. Everything's pretty victorious. And the Spanish are there for gold, God, and glory.
Mm-hmm.
Certain things when it comes to spreading Christianity, looking for gold, and then glorifying the Spanish crown. When you're looking at perspectives, and when we're looking to documents, and we're going to look at that quite often. You almost get the feeling everything's done by a Spanish artist or a Spanish perspective.
Yep.
We're bringing in the death factor, and you're not seeing that. Loads of paintings, and this is just a taste of it.
Mm-hmm.
And P.S. They really don't know what Columbus really actually looked like. You have all of this going on, but you don't see the negative side of it. So that's one of the things that you're seeing that's absent when you look at going back and looking at history and looking at.
And if we go back to that Columbian Exchange too, something else that we could even add on to this list,
Sure.
that will eventually be brought over, not so much from Europe, but from Africa,
it's going to be slaves.
slaves.
Yeah. Yep.
African slavery is going to become part of this Columbian Exchange, which leads us to that. It's a great debate in the 21st century as to the first Monday in October.
Right.
Should we celebrate it as Columbus Day? He didn't discover America. He didn't even know he discovered America. It was actually Amerigo Vespucci who realizes like 10 years later, hey, Columbus was wrong.
And when we look at this encounter too, they're here to, you get the cross in the back, they want to spread Christianity.
Colonize.
And they're here and they're like, hey,
Conquer.
visitors, we're giving gold welcome. And the whole idea here is to colonize, conquer.
Yeah, because the next group of Spaniards that are going to come over are a group of people called the
Conquistadors.
Conquistadors.
That are going to pretty much, take over.
Yeah, whose job it is to go out there and just kill the Native Americans.
Are we missing anything?
No,
Dennis?
just this
Big thing with the Colombian Exchange is the diseases that were brought over, of course.
there's positive. The new
Sure.
foods. Again, imagine the Irish never having a potato.
Right.
Imagine Italians never being introduced to tomatoes.
Without the sauce.
And the same here. Imagine us not having coffee.
Oh my gosh.
Or breads, or cheeseburgers.
That's it.
So.
Great. We miss anything?
No.
Thanks for watching.